In today's video, I'm going to be ranking all 18 January 2024 LEGO Ninjago minifigures from worst to best. Let's go. Coming in at number 18 is Mech Pilot Aaron, who appeared in the 4+ Aaron's Battle Mech set, and this minifigure absolutely sucks. Mainly because instead of designing a unique torso like all the other Mech Pilot Ninja, they just reused his Dragonsrising outfit and put a new mask on it, which in my opinion looks so much worse than his standard Dragonsrising outfit. They couldn't even be bothered giving him shoulder pads. This minifigure is a huge disappointment. At number 17 is another version of Aaron, the one from the Rising Dragon Strike set, which also happens to suck. The only reason this figure is higher than the last is the shoulder pads. The thing is, ever since the Air Jutsu sets in 2015, the gimmick sets, they're called that because the play feature is almost always just some random gimmick, have contained exclusive ninja. That's the way it is. The Dragonflies, the Spinjitzu Slam sets, the Epic Battle sets, the Dragonsrising Spinners, all cheap gimmicks with exclusive minifigures. That's the whole reason that anyone buys them, and yet for some unbeknown reason, Aaron in this Rising Dragon Strike set is not exclusive. It's just the same figure as the last one we talked about, but with super common shoulder pads added, not one exclusive piece. They couldn't even have just made the Mech Pilot Aaron's mask have a different secondary colour, like orange or something. Nope. Just reuse the exact same piece here. Way to break a 9-year-old trend, LEGO. At number 16 is the Wolf Clan Guard. The body here is the same as the Wolf Clan Warrior, who we'll touch on in a bit. The guard here appears in only 2 sets, Jay's Mech Battle Pack and Kai's Rising Dragon Strike. I'm not a huge fan of the face here, which is double-sided. The yellow skin printing isn't super great on the dark blue head. I'm not a huge fan of the printing on the body or the legs. I do like the hood piece here. Originally made for Star Wars, I believe. I just don't really like the overall look of this figure, if I'm being honest. At number 15 is the regular version of Sora, who appears in Egalt the Master Dragon. The reason she's so low on this list is not because she's a bad figure, quite the opposite in fact, but because she is a reuse from the Season 1 sets. I'll be brief with this figure because I've discussed her before, but this is a really good minifigure, one of my absolute favourite Ninjago minifigures. And of course, one of the very first to contain arm printing. Just really great stuff. The next figure on this list also happens to be Sora, this time the half-masked version from Sora's Tech Mech. Clever set naming, by the way. Instead of the usual shoulder pad and hood piece, this time around she utilises the now decade-old half-mask piece, in dark blue, as well as the Urban Sora hairpiece used on 2 minifigures previously. The reason this is higher than the other Sora on the list is because I appreciate that they switched it up a bit this season. Though there is one thing that could make this figure better, a custom hairpiece, and the March sets seem to have answered our prayers, with a brand new show-accurate hairpiece of Sora. If that figure came out now, it would be top of this list. But we're here to talk about the January wave, not the March wave. We'll talk about that when it comes out. So back to this minifigure. Pretty good overall, and a nice change from the usual. At number 13 is Jordana, who appears in the Kai's Elemental Fire Mech set, which I swear is like the millionth Kai mech at this point. She was a secondary antagonist in Season 1, but as we saw at the end of that, spoiler alert, she has teamed up with Lord Raz and is going to play a much bigger role in this season. She reuses the same torso as Lord Raz, and utilises the furry bird nest neck attachment, introduced on Kraven the Hunter in 2016, this time in one of my favourite LEGO shades, sand blue. Now everything that I don't like about this minifigure starts at the head. Her head is a lot more cartoonish looking than we saw in the show, which is the same thing we saw last year with Empress Beatrix. Though the major problem is with her hairpiece. In the show, her hair is a much lighter colour, and is a completely different piece. The hairpiece she has in the show happens to be retired, so they instead used a newer hairpiece here, which they also did with Gale Gossip in the Ninjago City markets. The thing is, in that same set, they brought back a retired hairpiece for Camille, so why can't they do the same for Gale and Jordana? Anyway, looking at it from a detailed perspective, the figure is pretty good, but if you're looking for show accuracy like me, then it's a bit of a letdown. At number 12 is a brand new character, Cinder, who currently appears in Egalt the Master Dragon. This guy is supposedly the Elemental Master of Smoke, a role previously held by Ash, although their faces do look kinda similar, and their names are also similar, so maybe this is Ash in disguise or transformed or something. Probably a stretch though. I also wanted to insert here that Gravis could secretly be the character Dorama. They have the same face print, and Dorama uses gravity-like powers in Dragonsrising, but that's a topic for another video. Anyway, this figure uses the Lego Batman movie Joker hairpiece, once again recoloured. He has the same torso, legs and neck attachment as Jordana. I also just found out from the Ninjago wiki that their torso reads Wolf and Moon, which is cool. The main problem with this figure comes from the face print. He suffers from the age-old problem of trying to print a light colour on a dark, and as usual it doesn't quite work. I can never really take this hairpiece seriously, so he doesn't look super cool in my opinion, but from what we've seen so far he's at least show accurate, which is why he's above Jordana here. At number 11 is another Wolf Clan member, Lord Raz. I like how in the first Dragonsrising season we had a sort of trio of generals with Beatrix, Raz and Rapton, and we have the same thing here with Jordana, Cinder and Raz. This season Raz is a significant downgrade from the last. He has unique torso and leg printing and the same head as last season, but instead of using a unique shoulder pad piece here, he uses the ancient Stone Army shoulder pads, recoloured in purple, which aren't the most detailed piece. And another huge thing is his arm printing is missing for some reason. I have no idea why that isn't present, but that is an easy fix if you have the other Raz minifigure. This is my favourite figure out of the 3 generals this season, though he is a lot worse than his season 1 counterpart. Coming in at the last of the double digits is mech pilot Nia, who appears in Egot the Master Dragon, and will be appearing in Lloyd's mech in March. Now when these sets first got revealed, I thought that these suits were going to be the ninjas' primary suits for Dragonsrising Season 2. Though as the sets releasing in March reveal, that's not the case. Kai, Nia, Aaron and Sora have their Season 1 outfits, which means that these, as well as the climbing suits, are just like one-off specialty suits. Maybe it will be like the Wildbrain seasons, where they kept their Season 11 robes up to crystallised, and just got one unique set of robes every season. But we only got the Season 11 robes across one wave of sets, whereas these Dragonsrising suits already span multiple waves and seasons. And I thought Dragonsrising Season 1 already established that the core suits were their primary suits for the show. Honestly, who knows? And I've started rambling and gone way off track, and I'm looking way too deep into a show about plastic ninjas. Back to Nia. I'm not a huge fan of this suit for her. I think sometimes the azure and gunmetal grey works, and sometimes it doesn't, and this is one of the cases where it isn't as good. She features the same hood piece as all the other mech pilot ninja, where their primary colour wraps around their hood with their secondary colour underneath it. Except Aaron, because he doesn't deserve it, I guess. I do like the gold highlights here, and I appreciate the shoulder pads. Also, the amount of gunmetal grey here is such a radical shift from the almost exclusively azure Nia last season. That's all I have to say for this figure. At number 9 is Cole, who appears in the Cole's Elemental Earth mech set. I really like this version of Cole. Like all the other ninja, his hood's bands have his primary colour and underneath have his secondary colour, which is orange. I think making Cole's secondary colour orange has always been a good choice. Black and orange just go pretty well together. It looks a lot better than the browns and greys they used to use for him. The printing here is in line with all the other mech pilot ninja, except Aaron, and I like the consistent gold hands. The thing is, Cole, Kai and Jay in this wave lack shoulder pads, unlike Lloyd, Nia and Zane, and I think every ninja deserves shoulder pads. Fortunately, that is an easy fix if you have any spare legacy ninja. Now he looks a lot better. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far, please consider leaving a like or a comment. Thanks. And at number 8 is Nia from the Rising Dragon Strike set. She has the same torso and legs as her mech pilot version and has the classic shoulder pad piece, but comes with an exclusive hood, with gold bands and azure below. I've touched on this before, but these Rising Dragon Strikes are the worst gimmick sets we've ever had. I know I just mentioned this, but the whole draw of sets like this are the exclusive minifigures who have been getting progressively worse over the years. They started out wholly unique, and then have been getting less and less exclusive parts. For example, the core spinners had unique hoods, heads and torso, but not pants. The Dragonsrising spinners from last year had unique hoods and torsos, but nothing else. And now these Rising Dragon Strikes have the bare minimum, unique hoods, and that's it. It wouldn't surprise me if they start including standard, non-exclusive figures in these sets next, and no one would buy them then. Anyway, despite only one exclusive piece, this Nia looks pretty clean. Sliding into number 7 is Mech Pilot Jay, who appears in the Jay's Mech Battle Pack set, Ninjago's first ever battle pack. This set retails for $15 Australian, though I've seen it for $12 and even as low as $10. And $10 for 4 minifigures is a great price, which would explain why the first 4 stores I looked for it in were completely sold out. It is currently the only set to contain Mech Pilot Jay, as well as one other exclusive minifigure we'll talk about a bit later. I really do like the gold highlights here, as well as the pale yellow on him. And the mask colouring is very reminiscent of the Day of the Departed and Hands of Time masks. Very nice Jay, although all Jay's suits tend to be pretty good in my opinion. At number 6 is Mech Pilot Kai, who currently only appears in Kai's Elemental Fire mech. Once again, the colouring here is perfect. I love when they use the darker shades with the ninja's regular colours, and gold always looks fantastic with red. I find it incredible how creative the Ninjago designers are, because at this point we've had well over 35 suits for each ninja, and they are still coming up with new mask molds, shoulder pads and new printing. Kai looks great already, and he looks even better when you add this shoulder pad piece. At number 5 is the Wolf Clan Warrior. This design has to be one of my all-time favourite Ninjago goons. The design here is just so nice. I know I put the Wolf Clan Guard low on this list, and this guy uses all the same pieces, except for the mask. There are actually 2 versions of this figure, one with shoulder pads and one without, though there's not a huge difference. The mask here is dual molded and it is so cool. It looks better than any of the Imperium villains, and it looks better than every Wildbrain villain, even the awesome Vengestone Warriors. The colour scheme for all the villains in this season is so good. I love the purple and the blues. The wolf mask piece is missing the eye that's seen in the show, but it's not a huge deal. And they are very numerous. If you were to buy all of the January Ninjago sets, you would end up with 7 of them. And the March sets contain a further 3, bringing the total to 10. There are still several Ninjago sets releasing in June that have yet to be revealed, so there may be even more. Perfect for army building. At number 4 we have Zane, who appears in Kai's Elemental Fire mech. If you have watched my ranking of the Season 1 minifigures, you'll know I was quite hard on Zane. In fact, I dislike Zane's outfits more often than not. This time, however, I think they knocked it out of the park with his design. I really like the way the gold contrasts with the rest of his colours. Gold seems to be a rarity on Zane these days, and it reminds me of his classic DX and ZX outfits. I think the blue and the white and the gold look great together, and I don't know why, but he reminds me of the Fortnite skin, Double Agent Wildcard. At number 3 is Rising Dragon Strike Kai. I mentioned before how much I like red and gold together, and here it looks fantastic. I don't think these shoulder pads are their best they could have picked. I love them, though they're getting pretty old now. Anyway, the gold on the mask matches up so nicely with his gold hands, and the printing and the highlights all look great with it. The whole minifigure just looks amazing. At number 2 is none other than Mech Pilot Lloyd. He currently appears in Egalt the Master Dragon, but will be appearing in his own elemental mech in March. I really like almost every minifigure Lloyd ever gets, and this has to be one of his best. Lloyd cops a lot of hate from Ninjago fans, though personally he's my favourite ninja, and 9 times out of 10 his minifigures are amazing. I love his mask here. It is very reminiscent of his Day of the Departed suit, one of my all-time favourites. I think green and dark green is one of the best combinations Lloyd has ever had, and it just works so well here, especially with, once again, the gold hands and shoulder pads. This is truly one of Lloyd's best suits, and is 10,000 times better than his weird pale green suit from last year. And at number 1, which is no big surprise really, it is Master Lloyd, who appears in Jay's Mech Battle Pack currently and will be appearing in the Dragonstone Shrine in March. The one releasing in March does have shoulder pads, making him slightly better, though once again that is an easy fix here. Now I usually don't like it when only one ninja gets an exclusive variant, and none of the rest of them do. But it makes sense for Lloyd to get his own unique suits, like Golden Oni Lloyd, or that Golden Mech Pilot one from Core last year, or Samurai Lloyd. Here it looks really good, and I wonder if this means Lloyd is officially a master now. This is such a great figure and I'm happy to add it to the collection. Okay, now that my 2 cents about these minifigures are over, I wanted to add some more thoughts. For a start, the March sets look amazing, and I can't wait to rank the figures when they come out. All of the climbing ninja suits look so good, and I can't believe we already have a Euphrasia minifigure. And of course, another new Wu is good, even if he's kinda useless, especially as Lloyd is a master now. And also Wildfire is back, which is good. And of course, that new Sora minifigure is just chef's kiss. I also wanted to once again question what the ninja's primary suits are, because currently the mech pilot suits are exclusive to 1 set each, with the exception of Lloyd and Nia, who will be appearing in Lloyd's elemental mech, which is fair enough. And most March sets contain exclusive climbing ninja, but Aaron's off-road buggy contains Season 1 Aaron, and the Dragonstone Shrine contains Season 1 Kai and Nia, albeit with their hair out. So I wonder what suits are going to come in the yet-to-be-revealed June wave. The mech suits? The climber suits? The Season 1 suits? All 3? And are we going to continue getting the Season 1 suits in future waves as well as exclusive suits for each wave? Who knows, honestly. Not me. Anyway, thank you for watching me ramble about children's toys for however long this video ends up being. Sorry for talking a lot, I just had so much to say about the figures in this wave. And sorry the video is so late. These sets only released in February here in Australia, not January like everywhere else, and I wanted to have them in hand before I could officially rank them. If you made it to the end, I really appreciate it. Let me know in the comments if you would like to see me rank every January set next, or rank every March figure, when they release of course. And if you would like to see something similar to this, check out my ranking of the Season 1 figures, which should appear on screen now. That's been all for today folks, have a great day and see you next week.